the kind of hard effort is worthwhile as we get towards the end. But a question is the complicated hero without a stun on the Timber? Well, is that going to be enough here for Team Mystique?
Like Lizard said, it's all just about how they get out of this laning stage, right? As we actually got a full roaming squad up here. That's an interesting curry that Monkey King's morphed into as well. Just running around on his puffy little horse. They will be able to find out outside, though, and I wonder if the damage will be able to be enough to be able to take him out with a nice Boundless coming through.
No way.
Surely not. Oh, yeah. Nicely done by XM. But I wonder if now that makes the lane a little bit easier. And I also want to see how they set these lanes up. Like, could it be the Crystal Maiden actually paired together with the Timber Saw, right? Just so that you have that way to stop the Monkey King from consistently bullying you. You drop the Frostbite, you drop the Crystal Nova, but then you have to worry about in the safe lane, like this Riki going... Well, I guess he's not going into the Primal Beast, actually, so it's not so bad, right? You don't need the Crystal Maiden to be able to back him off, even though CM is great against the boars as well.
One thing to mention is that for them going for this first blood, it meant that NJ wasn't in the lane to try and cut down the trees. Like, I mean, I guess it kind of plays against itself as well. Yeah. For a Timber Saw, you'd love some trees, but I really like your core about the CM being this lane, and often where we see for the Timbers, when you're against like an Ursa, Slark, or Monkey, you look to go like Timber Chain, high levels in it, and just max it out as much as possible, and just look to actually just try and out-trade the enemy carry. And sometimes you can do that. It's a little bit different. The hero has been nerfed in the recent times, so I'm very intrigued. And Jay looks to play the Timber. So we did get it a couple of days ago as well, and we saw in the last phase of bans for Outsiders for China is the Marcy and the Mars that was banned out. So a lot of emphasis on NJ's comfort heroes, but always Timber slips through as well. So excited to see how this one's going to perform.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how active he's even going to get with a Quelling Blade. I wonder if that even is just for the right-click damage, as opposed to actually being able to cut down a lot of these trees. Like you said, it's sort of counterintuitive when you're playing a Timber Saw. But my mind just goes to the fact that Team Mystique want to go for kills. I mean, have a look at Ray's inventory. He's got 7 mangoes right now on this Crystal Maiden. He wants to be spamming out skills as much as possible. Might just be waiting for that level 2, but you really can't do it when the lane is this close to the Outsider's tower.
His positioning is going to have to be pretty on point. If the Treant Protector is ever able to kind of slip through the tree line and run into Ray when he's not aware, then all of a sudden the CM could eat a bunch of unnecessary damage. As we'll have an opportunity to take a look at some of the other lanes. Let's take a look at how bottom's shaping up at the moment here, with the kind of Riki and the Nature's Prophet together up against the Rubik and the Beastmaster. DQQ's doing a pretty good job to be able to harass away Xiaoma with the help of the Treants.
I mean, you've got 5.6 base regen, you've got 315 speed, and you've got 6 armor to start things off. It's pretty easy to be able to make a lot of that harassment happen. But, you know, credit to them, they picked the Riki. So, clearly, I mean, that's the strength of having all of these heroes that are strong in this meta, right? Something's got to slip through. It's just a question of who can exploit it the best.
Yep. And who wants to be a honorable man and not even go for those kind of busted heroes that we're seeing at the moment. Top lane, a lot of damage being expended between the two teams. Ray's going to be able to hold XM back for the moment, so won't be able to get too much out of the Jingu. Although this does help outside to get some punches onto Ray as well. So some kind of trades back and forth between the two sides.
He should be okay, though. Oh, we won't be able to get rid of that Sentry Ward, though. Outside doing a good job to make sure that that camp is not available for themselves. They haven't been able to make a pull happen just yet in that lane. I'm sure they're just keeping tabs on how many mangoes Ray has available. He's just down to the 2, so the fact that they haven't got a kill on this top side is a pretty significant deal. Actually looking to get active themselves.
Yeah, Ray tries to land the combo onto XM. NJ, he doesn't have a point in the tip of chain just yet. They went when they were only level 2, but still when that Whirling Death is able to come back up, we see how much damage the Timber Saw can truly do. So in the end, it's a 1-for-1, but Team Mystique got to be incredibly happy with that, because also now the Crystal Maiden gets a free trip back to base, so he's got full resources and more mangoes as well, more importantly.
Yeah, visits the fruit shop, able to pick up a few mangoes for himself, and well, outside, he's just going to not really soak up too much out of that lane, obviously not wanting to give it through to steal it away from the Monkey King. But yeah, NJ getting a lot of those early levels is important. It was XM though that got the first blood, so he's not going to be too unhappy about that. Might be looking to try and take this camp away, and yeah, they do. They're even starting to nuke it here on the CM, just so that it's not really a threat. Have the lane push back out. But XM, just really good maneuverability as bottom side. Jiaoma's getting chased down a little bit here, and if they had another point in that, that blink strike up, probably would have looked to commit through there. But once again, it's being pushed back a little bit in this lane. I mean, we've seen it with the Beastmaster. If you go into a lot more of this mana regen style, then you can certainly deal with the Nature's Prophet lane quite well.
Might actually turn on DQQ. Jukes the tree going to be able to cover his retreat for the moment. Meanwhile, Ava in the tower is getting a lot of damage into him, so we'll get one more round of the axes, and the Nature's Prophet, those had a free time, so looks like it will be a 1-for-1 in the end, and is able to get a nice little bounty off the back of that, so he's going to be pretty happy. 900 gold in the bank for him.
I think the Beastmaster actually bought the Helm of Iron Will before he went down as well, so he's not going to be too unhappy about everything that happened there. Not giving up too much unreliable gold, and well, for though, it does mean that he does get that solo experience. He gets up to his level 5, and we know that it's going to be very important for a little bit of that surprise damage to come out very quickly. I mean, Monkey King, he's strong into all of these melee-style matchups, but if you can have that Wrath of Nature in addition to the Timbersaw spell combination plus CM, he can go down pretty damn quickly. Not even the Leech Seed's going to help.
Oh, we'll see them look to get the jump in, though. Got to be cautious about the spells from NJ if they can kind of keep in mind about the cooldown of the Whirling Death and play away from the Tree Line. Looks like Outsiders for China should be okay, and also the Treant Protector is going to be able to slip on out as well. Mid lane, nothing crazy, just the first use of the Pulverize. DQQ, though, importantly, is able to get the Arcane Rune, so both Zone and Echoes won't get a refill in the bottle.
Speaking of Echoes, though, he's going straight back up to this top side. They realize how important it is to stop CM from having a good time here. Obviously, Timbersaw's a big deal, but if you're able to have that CM have to make the walk of shame, that is mission accomplished for you. And, well, I was about to say that's the prime target, but I suppose he gets on top of the Timbersaw. Now he doesn't need to be worried about spamming that trample.
Well, even Zone's actually going to try and rotate. So the Rolling Thunder comes out at the perfect time to cancel the Pulverize. And now NJ with the damage out of the Whirling Death as well. It's going to do a lot against the Strength Hero and Echoes. So very nicely done. The counter rotation out of Zone gets that first usage of the Rolling Thunder, and it's going to be rewarded thanks to it.
It was a nice rotation by the Pango, but I really feel like Primal Beast just chose the wrong target, right? If he goes onto the CM, A, she makes the Walk of Shame back, and B, not able to get the Frostbite off to stop the trample. Yeah, you might take a little bit of damage going back the other way, but you get the stun from the Onslaught, you immediately use the Pulverize afterwards, and CM's just dead.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Oh, that's a big courier snipe.
Yeah. How did he get that? We'll see if they're going to be able to actually zone out XM in this lane. With maybe some numbers advantage, the damage could be a bit overwhelming. He's gone 3 points Whirling Death on Timber. Okay.
I mean, you're up against 3 Strength Heroes, right? I don't hate it. The Timber chain doesn't change in terms of its cooldown. It's just in terms of the damage and the speed and all that. So, yeah, I like it. I mean, a Monkey King, you know that they're going to be in on top of you, and it's a dual melee lane, right? So, may as well.
Mid lane, Zone. They're actually going to try and turn this around. Zone not going to be able to catch up to him, and as a result of that, will be forced to TP out on the cover of the Rolling Thunder.
Top side, NJ is putting a little bit of pressure here onto XM. He's going to be a little slow,
maybe.
Never mind. Oh, got to commit. There we go. Nicely done.
Okay. Beautifully done. Echoes might be able to catch up to DQQ. Telekinesis back into the river. He's got the tricks of the trade still to work with. He's really hoping that someone runs nearby to maybe act as a blink strike target.
It's like, please give me a tree at Nature's Prophet, anything, but nope.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what, it's important that I just get my farm. You're just a Ricky. All you need is the Aghanim Shard. Who cares?
Just a measly support. Your life.
XM just TP'd
That's
back
all
here,
for
and
me.
Pango doesn't have Rolling Thunder, but he's got all of his spells.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right, NJ. Look at the damage this Timber's pumping out. Ooh.
And they even bring up towards the top side as well, not even needing that Wrath of Nature. I was kind of expecting them to need that to be able to get a lot of these kills happening, right? Like even the one that they got previously onto the Monkey King didn't have it at that stage. We will see the heavy rotations coming towards this bot side though with NJ. All that's holding him back is mana right now.
They might go for him, NJ. Oh no, he was feeling himself then, Og. After that top lane engagement, he felt like he was on top of the world, but Team Mystique, they've still got some numbers to be able to bring down bottom. Zone's going to be able to roll in, trying to catch up to Echoes, and will just be able to get him on the tip. Unfortunately, he won't be able to double back and catch up to the TPing out Xiaomo Rubik, so not the worst, actually. Meanwhile, XM's actually coming bottom, so Team Mystique going to be cautious. They do stick around.
He's not considering going for this, is he? I mean, he's 2 levels behind Zone. Kind of expected for safe lane versus mid, but I don't think you can be that deep next to the tower and making that sort of attempt. I have to wonder if Vanguard's the right option here for the Timber as well, right? Like, look at what you're up against. You're up against Primal Beast, heavily magic-based. Beastmaster, Axe's build, heavily magic-based. Rubik, Tree, similar sort of things, right? It's really only the Monkey King that you're all that concerned about. Guess that just gives an indication of where he's going to be, though. Oh, he gets the cut down in the tree line.
Okay. Beautifully done. I mean, he's able to tape in.
If they're going to put all their attention onto the Monkey King, I support it. I support this this item build that they're looking to go for. Yeah.
Oh no. He's not used to using the Timber Chain. Looks so weird. Okay. We'd love to get the Helm Dom creep as well. I still push away, but unfortunately it's not cute enough with the micro.
It's a big creep wave bottom as well. Plenty of damage going into that bot tower while just continues to farm as well. Doesn't seem like he's completely convinced as to what item build he wants to go for. He's holding on to a lot of money right now when he could have had some additional damage coming through, but yeah, NJ, he's just content to try and stop this scaling that's going to be coming through from the Monkey King. Look at all the heroes on this bottom side of the map, man. There's like 3/4 of a map completely empty.
Well, Monkey King's net worth is really taking a hit. XM 2-4-0. So he struggled to be able to address the Timbersaw, and he's going to be going for that Battle Fury, and well, he hasn't got the Primal Spring maxed out as well, so he really went for a lane dominating skill build, so it's going to be very difficult for him to be able to catch up in farm now before he gets the Battle Fury.
Yeah, even just lane sustain, right? Seems like the avenue that he was going for, but of course he didn't. 4 deaths so far. It just goes on the back of, we've talked about it, just individual outplays coming through, and this game the chocolates have to go to NJ.
Yep. That they do. 4-1-4 has had an incredible showing so far. Really acting as that bodyguard now. So Team Mystique can look to get their last tier 1 tower of the game. It's not a big net worth lead for them at all things considering. Echoes is doing a great job on this Primal Beast. Is about to have his second component completed, the BKB. Simultaneously, you also have Ava that's getting pretty close to the Helm of the Overlord as well. So all things considering, like, Dire are getting a lot of farm on their cores, just minus the Monkey.
They are.
NJ, he might be in some trouble. See if they're going to be able to bring him down off the back of this, and he's not tanky enough with this build. Something you're kind of questioning this Vanguard, and it's really not going to help out against those 3 heroes that outsiders were kind of putting in front of him.
Yeah, you really just don't see the point, right? Like, if you want to go into a little bit more physical resistance later on, I understand it. You know, maybe you go down the route of like a Lotus Orb for the plate mail component, but for right now, you see that Monkey King's gone into a Perseverance. He's going Battle Fury to be able to contend with a Nature's Prophet. So this is the time to be buffing up your magic resistance, not physical. So, you know, the gameplay has been on point, but I just wonder if this will come back to bite him.
So what do you do now for Radiant that you've taken all these tier 1 towers? Is it they just want to play aggressive in the jungle of Dyes still, or are you happy with kind of playing this?
He's fighting farming right underneath a ward, so I think they're just going to start to gradually move towards him.
Okay.
And like, you just got to make sure that this scaling doesn't start to happen. And what you can see from outsiders, they're basically acting as a blockade right now. Rubik covering one staircase, outside covering the other. They can get a quick pick off here. I mean, they see where he is, and just a little bit slow there on the smoke screen by DQQ. But you're not happy if it's going to be a case of just nothing happening for a few minutes, right? The longer that happens, the more close the Monkey King gets to that scaling, and makes things a whole lot more difficult for yourselves. Primal's even just shoving in top.
They're just looking for that little bit of farm to get towards his BKB on Echoes. And at least for Dire, that seems like really what we're waiting for. We spoke a lot about XM, but again, their cores are very close to these big items to help them now increase the tempo shortly. You've almost got a Blink on outside. He really likes to go this first side and Blink on the Treant Protector. There's even a 4-star being worked on for the Rubik as well to kind of help get out of the Sprout, kite the Rolling Thunder, maybe even the Sleeping Dart as well from the Riki. So yeah, Dire are also very close to these timings. So again, are we concerned that maybe Mystique aren't doing enough?
Yes, and I'm really concerned as well for Mystique with regards to the Primal Beast picking up the BKB. Like, I wonder if he might try and just get his level 12 before they look to make any kind of smoke attempt, but doesn't seem like it. They're going to go in. But, I mean, once they use that Rolling Thunder, that's the only stun they have right now. They've got plenty of silencers and roots, but you're going to be able to get off that BKB.
Very nicely done from DQQ. I believe the summons were smoked as well. I imagine they would have been. Well, they're going to scan to even confirm the positioning of outsiders for China. So, gotta be cautious though. This is a really good Hawk placement. DQQ's going to look to run into Echoes for the moment. They want to try and target down the Primal Beast. Echoes, he's okay with him starting on him. He'll pop the BKB, but doesn't see the greatest pulverized target. So, he's actually going to use the Magic Munity to cover his escape. And now maybe this means NJ can charge him, but it's going to be cautious. So Sleeping Dart cancels the Pulverize, but where are the rest of the boys to assist in? NJ, Freezing Field, getting layered down. Look at all the damage going to work as outside. He'll be chased down as well as Team Mystique. A great read from them. They saw that as soon as Echo's BKB was wasted, there was an opportunity for them to be able to take that team fight.
They do indeed. They protect their tier 1 tower. They continue farming. NJ picks up a regen room for himself. And, well, that time around, I was wondering, oh, he's getting close to dying. He's not going to be able to pop that pipe coming through as, well, it's a solo kill that they're able to pick up, protecting their Observer Ward. But, I mean, the damage has been done, right? Really good placement by Ray as well with that Freezing Field to dish out as much damage as possible in the fight. Do you watch much YouTube content with regards to like people saying, "Oh, these some things you might not have known about X, Y, and Z"?
What? Is this Dota related?
Dota related, not just like, not conspiracy theories or anything. There's one about CM and Freezing Field actually. So when you position the Freezing Field, it's always the top right-hand corner. Imagine a circle around you. It's always the top right-hand corner that goes first.
Hold that thought. NJ top lane. Oh, Echoes, he got the Pulverized as soon as the Timber Chain went out, so it's still going to be a cooldown after the ulti expires, meaning that he will not be able to escape. Beautifully done, and this is kind of also the power of like a Rubik versus the Timber Saw. All of your abilities are pure damage, a great way to be able to go through his health pool, and well, he's still whirling death now. So that is a scary thing for a Rubik to be able to utilize with almost maxed out Arcane Supremacy.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to be that close as well on the Rubik as well, right? It always is a little bit of an area of concern. But yeah, just on that Freezing...
Bottom lane, Ava. DQQ's actually setting up here, so look to try and tip in. They're going to be quick with this though, man. The rest of Dire is starting to move on over. The Smoke Cloud, is it going to last long enough to prevent the Roar? Ava's trying to find the angle. We'll get it out the last second to help secure the kill in return. And now here come Dire. XM lays down the Wukongs. Oh, they stole the Rolling Thunder as well. So yeah, no spell was used, and that's a great trade for Dire. Ava's life for the carry on Mystique and also the Riki.
Yeah, very happy. You also keep the Helm of the Overlord creep alive, so you're still going to be able to pressure out this lane. Xiaoma might give up his life here, though, although the Rolling Thunder, never mind.
Roll, my friend, roll. Look at the cube go to work. Java's got the telekinesis as well. They're probably going to be relying on XM to start to stack up the Jingu. Ray's going to look to prevent that as best as he can. Again, the Freezing Field just on the outskirts, the top right on XM. But it's not enough damage. XM able to slither on away to the right side, and now Echoes, oh, he wasn't able to clean up. Will be able to do so finally. Meanwhile, NJ put himself in quite a compromised position. It's going to be okay for the moment with the chain away. With the Nature's Prophet also cleaning up the Primal Beast, meant that no one else was able to follow up, so he was able to rejoin that really prolonged team fight. So, in the end, decent exchange for Dire. All right, Daniel, let's hear your CM talk. What's going on?
Oh, it's basically just if you want to get that quick pick-off with a freezing field, as long as they're positioned on the top right-hand side, it's always going to hit there first, the little explosions coming through. And the explosions can actually go slightly further outside of what the radius looks like, because they've got like some explosion range as well of about 200 or so. So I feel like Ray, with his positioning of these freezing fields, knows about that, because he's always positioning it so that he's on the bottom left-hand side of this sort of thing. Might even lead people to understand why you might start picking CM more on Radiant as opposed to Dire, just with how the map is set up as well, right?
That is very true. Have you dived a little bit deeper into
I haven't seen any trends with regards to that, no.
Well, then I'll go, there's some homework for you.
All right, don't give me homework, all right? You're younger than me.
Does not matter. A teacher can still be younger. I know my stuff, Mr. Old Fart.
You can call me Senpai, all right?
It's not gonna happen. Well, what about me? You gonna call me Senpai? What's going on?
No. Never. I will never call you Senpai. Senpai implies that you've got something to teach.
I am the maestro.
Unless it's gym related. You can be my gym Senpai. How about that?
Oh, that's something. That's okay. So you are agreeing that I have more knowledge than you?
About gym, yes.
No, just in general.
No, about gym.
Oh, what? I thought we were speaking
Take the W, bro.
Well, we'll see what Outsiders for China can get off the back of this smoke. It's going to be a three-man smoke. They do have XM and Ava pretty close together. They'd love a pick-off to be able to chain it into the tower.
I'll see the direction that chakram came from, though, so I wonder if they want to avoid it entirely. Quick pick-off onto Ray would be great. He's dealing a lot of damage in many of these fights, and, well, most of the time you're not all that happy about taking out a CM, but if it's right in front of the Roche pit when you feel like you've got the confidence to take it out, maybe it is quite good. You've got the Helm of the Overlord, you've got the Inner Beast Aura.
Don't do it, friend.
QQ. He's just trying to get the... Oh. Give him something to think to.
Oh no, Echo's stun was at a perfect timing as soon as the tricks of the trade expired.
Oh, Helm of the Overlord creep's dead. Alright. Wonder if he just tosses the chakram in there so that they can get the Wrath of Nature through. Ah, it's already on cooldown.
Zone can't even roll as well. They've got Overgrowth and Raw to play with. Roll got stolen again. But there's the Overgrowth holding the Bengali into place, so Zone's not going to get too much out of the ultimate. But we're going to see it's giving them decent amount of control through the team fight, so XM's going to be able to turn to deal with Roshan. Meanwhile, Freezing Field was stolen from Xiaoma. They need a way to cancel the Rubik's Cube. Look at the damage! Not enough to kill off the Nature's Prophet, who will step down to the south, but XM's Boundless Strike cuts him down. But he's in trouble now. Completely isolated, no boys to play with. A smoke cloud on the back of the respawn. XM, a slow and painful death as the river turns to red as Outsiders for China lose all 5 in that first Aegis advantage.
Woo. Yeah, instantly lose it as well. I think it was even the Radiant that got the kill for Roche. So they get all the gold, they get all the nearby experience from it nearby, and well, the Aegis advantage, like you said, just immediately being taken away. And the top side's being pushed in a little bit here. DQ in a really good spot multiple times to be able to drop that smoke screen, to be able to delay things long enough. And well, NJ again is just continuing his incredible performance. Now he's going into the Lotus Orb. I like it. Yeah, making sure that he, of course, has that tool to be able to counter out things like the Roar, to be able to get out of the Overgrowth. Also, just the additional armor can be quite good. So still not feeling super strong about the Vanguard, but he's certainly addressed the Monkey King now.
I also want to mention Zone's item build in regards to the Lincolns. It's a great way to address the Roar. the kind of Rubik jump in with telekinesis as well. I hope he's not doing it just to prevent the spell steal, but...
Yeah, I was about to say, just shield crash, bro.
So my concern with this is that you're not addressing overgrowth, and I think that is going to be his biggest issue in fights. And I think the way to address it is far cheaper than a Linken's in regards to the Ag Shard. So I'm going to be paying attention to see, even with this Linken's completed, if that overgrowth can just completely counter him. As XM pushing very aggressively. Yeah, we'll have to force out a BKB. They might look to jump in afterwards, so XM will lay down the Wukong's command, trying to give him some aspect to take a team fight around. The Raw's going to bounce him away, but meanwhile, look at the Nature's Prophet going to work. They haven't addressed on the carry, so he's going to be more than okay to get the damage out at a quick rate. Unfortunately, they won't have ways to stop the remaining members of Dire from retreating out of the neighborhood. So in the end, though, Team Mystique, I mean, that's still a very good hold from them. The tower actually does go down, in fact, but oh well, they get 2 kills.
It happens with the Beastmaster. They just had the Ancient Black Dragon hitting it the entire time, and I'm going to sound like an NJ fanboy, but again, him in that fight, he was able to land the Lotus Orb, find the target that was going to be the target of the Primal Roar. That ended up pushing them back closer towards the Nature's Prophet, which meant that he was able to just continuously right-click while they were pushed back in relative safety. So that's the first fight that I've really felt M's presence, you know, where he's actually able to just stand and start to make use of all this farm that he's getting across the map.
And look at DQQ's positioning, already trying to scout out maybe some reinforcements to position themselves to defend this tier 2 tower, but those on outsiders want nothing to do with this. Looks like it's going to be a tier 2 that goes down uncontested.
Even the flamethrower helping out a little bit. Obviously realizing that maybe inside of that Wukong's he's going to have all that armor to be able to contest with. Might have been a little bit too quick on the smoke there. I believe that was scouted out by outsiders. So let's see how they look to position themselves. Right now, they're trying to stay as close as possible to their tier 2 towers, but I believe Monkey King is super visible up on this top side of the map.
That is the prime target here from Team Mystique. Just a question if they're going to be able to catch up to him. Oh, he's going to show in the lane. EQQ almost there fast enough. I mean, you see he's got this Eye of the Vizier and very close to the 8th lens as well, so his cast range is going to be through the roof, but unfortunately for this occasion, it just wasn't enough for him to get that initial dart out to hold him into place. And well, now this will enable Dire to reoccupy their own triangle, so we're going to see some wards set up for them.
Sure, but it also means top's pushing in, mid's pushing in. Yeah, bottom, Ava's doing a decent job of addressing that, but you don't really care about any objectives down here. You know, the tier 2's gone. You're not going to be able to take a tier 3 quickly enough. They could also take away the outpost if they really wanted to, and yeah, Ray's finally going to do that. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be that next Roche that you're really playing for, right? 3 minutes away from potentially spawning. You've taken away already 2 tier 2 towers now, and they still haven't even lost their tier 1 mid that they could look to defend.
Mid lane, they've got a really good ward by the river. Echo's in some trouble at the moment. Zone's gonna look to try and roll through, and with the damage from the Raptor, Nature, Dire just get blown up as soon as the fight breaks out, and now Echoes tries to steal the gem, a snatch and grab mission, but unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to teleport away with the gem in his inventory. So in the end, Team Mystique, I mean, this is looking like a brand new team, Denok, this series as a whole.
You know, we've seen outdrafts before, but we've also seen individual play be able to outweigh that, and I just really feel like they're just much more on the same page. Even in that last game, right? We thought they had a really good shot, but things just crumbled around some of those key objectives, and the game ended up looking a lot worse than it really was. This time around, it's just going Team Mystique's way, whether it be, you know, finding a few of those kills in the lane on the Timber, to just not getting that perfect initiation. And once again, the Lotus Orb was really effective at being able to prevent a lot of that control that the Treant Protector is providing.
Yeah, now not having the gem advantage here is going to be a pretty big concern as well, considering I really think that ward on the cliff by the river was a big kind of reason why they were able to have success in that team fight, a big asset. So we'll see it's going to be even more difficult now for them. You've already got Ricky concerns as well, where, you know, he's always going to be invised and kind of being this first member to scout out the Dire members. So it is it's not an easy map to now start to play.
I wonder how much, when they eventually do start to go high ground, like how they're going to do it on Team Mystique. Because you've got the Flamethrower on the Timbersaw, and Nature's Prophet's working on his own Lincoln Sphere. So I wonder if they're actually going to just consider just keeping on throwing Lincolns onto the Timbersaw and just let him be the true frontliner. Just slowly tickle the tower down with the Flamethrower and with some treants.
Definitely could be the way to do it. We'll see how strong of a game that NJ's have. Very close to his level 20. So he wants to go that extra send. Just going to help tank him up a little bit. I think this is now Shiva's about to be completed once his Koro reaches the secret shop. So the Mystique a 12,000 net worth lead before that 30-minute mark. And what's the call for Outsiders for China? Well, looks like they're going to try and make a smoke play.
Yeah, they want to try and kill whoever looks to try and address this bottom lane. It would be great if they could pick off the Nature's Prophet, but his courier is going to deliver the Lincoln Sphere to himself in about 3 seconds. Not wanting to reveal in the lane before it gets through to him, so let's see if they have a quick look at his inventory. Seems like they've had the opportunity to, and well, they're actually going to back off a tiny bit here on Outsiders from China.
I just hoping they're hoping he walks outside this base with the ward dropped.
They've been off the map for quite some time, though, so
yeah.
He's clearly playing incredibly carefully. Even just the CM staying inside of that Roche pit between all of the vision that he's placed up, and well, Timbersaw feels not unkillable, but certainly way too hard to just quickly take down.
Not the home of the Overlord creep. Is it a bait? Is it not a bait? They're sticking around. DQQ might find Ava. Just a little bit too late to catch him out in the tree line. The helm of the Overlord creep will be able to flap on away as well, so they've finally been able to address this bottom wave. Meanwhile, topside, completely underrating vision. It's not easy for Dire to reoccupy their own jungle.
Yeah, and you've got that Roshan coming up in about a minute 15, so the name of the game is pretty simple for Outsiders, right? Push in the bottom lane, force someone to try and address this. Maybe they continue setting up here, but I mean, the downside for them is they don't know when the Roshan is coming up. That's why they're sending the Hawk through right now. It's right over the pit. It gives an indication from Mystique as to when they can look to make this move. And well, nicely done by CM as well as Pango to clear out that vision. Just giving him all that information.
Him in the tree line.
Oh, so close.
Oh, they still get him. He popped a BKB, but the Nature's Prophet was still able to cut down the tree. XM's going to be forced to stand his ground off the back of the Wukong's command, but oh my. BKB goes away and NJ says bye-bye.
Yeah, very, very quick to be able to take down that monkey. I mean, you got to go for those kind of tricky plays, but I mean, they're just reading him like a book right now. They'd set up the Tinker Ward, so they saw him bounding along that tree line, and well, we were talking about the potential for the Timbersaw to be the main sieger, especially with the Monkey King in the grave. They want to try and force a buyback, perhaps. Maybe the Glyph is what they're waiting for here. They're going to force that Glyph out at the very least. Nicely done to be able to drag the creeps back, so at least the treants aren't going to be able to soak up all of that tower multi-hit. So yeah, the catapult ends up going down as well, but they're going to use that opportunity to head towards Roche. But once again, really nice Hawk coming through. Is it going to go under vision this time? I don't think it is. So they actually have complete understanding of what's going on now, with Monkey King just about 10 seconds away. So yeah, might see it. There we go, just with the gem. Going to be a little too quick. So at least they're more decisive this time around on Team Mystique, right? It was the complaint that we had in game number 1 where it felt like they had openings, but they just weren't super confident in taking them. This time around, they see an opening and they just all in for it, because what do they have to lose, right? They've played conservatively all season, hasn't worked out too well for them. I'm much preferring this style.
And with this clear forward, Ava might be able to run into him, even as a force to try and reposition himself. The rest of Dire are starting to move over just in case Ava is going to require some assistance, but it will not be necessary.
Now Pango's got that roll up as well.
Yeah.
So another useful tool to be able to break out a lot of this CC.
That's going to be big for him. Very, very important. Taking control, like we said, or actually DQQ. And I'm going to catch out the Rubik. 4 staff's not going to be enough from Xiaoma. Died. Do they want to consider about taking the fight? And it looks like it's not going to be the case. They don't have their full members here, so shouldn't look to back up. But this map is really starting to shrink. Oh, Echoes?
Primal?
Echoes?
Oh, the bash.
He's going for the hero's play, but the bash just stops any threat of them being able to get a turnaround kill in our zones. He's even hunted for more, but this time won't get fortunate with the bash.
Zone's just zoning him out right now. And, well, that mid lane's going to push in. No tier 2 towers left to play with. You've got 2.5 minutes on the glyph timer, so why not go forward? I mean, with the Aegis as well, on the Nature's Prophet, you don't even need to leave it all to the Timber Sword. You can put yourself up there and start right-clicking yourself, so you're going to need to address this somehow. Wonder if they're going to look to try for a pick-off first. That's going to be DQQ's main role. If he can catch Ava, it's a good start.
Sleeping darts there, but where's the follow-up? And Jay's going to look to poke from afar. A decent chunk of damage onto the Beastmaster before this team fight breaks out.
They want to protect that Observer Ward as much as possible. That's what DQQ is using with the Aether Lens.
XM, they're going to leap in. Telekinesis Raw, attempting the Wukongs, but XM was stunned to start the fight. NJ, can he get away off the back of this? And it looks like he's going to be okay. The Timber just seems unkillable at this stage of the game. He's even standing inside the Wukong's command, and that might just be 2 full sets. And they even got the sleeping doubles. XM was leaping through the trees, so Dire, they're forced to take a fight, but they're just zoned away. Nature's Prophet puts his body on the line to prevent the rest of Dire from being able to connect to keep XM alive.
That's mid lane gone. That's a Monkey King with no BKB, no Wukongs that does not want to buy back. It's all just about the boys. I mean, Chakram's a pretty good spell to steal if you're just trying to keep these waves shoved in, but we've already been able to take 2 full lanes of racks, even with that top lane well far away from the base. So right now, NJ, all he needs to do is zone out. He's just a space creator.
And he's doing an incredible job at that. Can turn it back around off the thread of the Bloodstone. So he would back up to full goes NJ, and they're going to call it. Not even one last team fight will come out from Dire as Team Mystique will send us to a Game 3 here for our second series of the night.
And then